Namaskar and a very good evening, friends. On behalf of Kalpana, I, Yogini, welcome you all to this unique concert of music and dance, Sri Krishna Rasa Panchamrutam by Dr. Jayanti Ravi, eminent Carnatic vocalist and Secretary, Auroville Foundation. Friends, many of you are aware that Arpanaa was formed 8 years ago to facilitate and invite artists to Auroville to enrich our community with their art. We've hosted a number of performances of noteworthy musicians of both the Hindustani and Carnatic music, diverse Indian dance forms, as also workshops of storyboarding and Indian calligraphy. Funded by the city services of Auroville, Arpanaa has been coordinated by different Aurovillians. Currently, this service is anchored by Geetha and myself, and we are delighted to host this program on the auspicious occasion of Janmashtami, celebrating the birth of one of the most beloved gods of the Hindu pantheon. A few words about our eminent artists. Dr. Jayanti Ravi has had her training in varied genres of music, ranging from Hindustani to Carnatic, devotional to Sugam Sangeet. A graded artist of the All India Radio, she's had the great fortune to learn with stalwart gurus like Padma Bhushan, Shripad Pinakapani, Sangeeta Kalanidhi, B. Rajam Iyer, and her mother, Dr. Rajalakshmi Srinivasan. An IS officer of the Gujarat cadre, Jayanti ji has been balancing her very demanding official commitments with concerts at prestigious venues across the world. She has been creating unique presentations, bringing together elements and styles of music, dance, and narrative. This evening, she will be accompanied by her daughter, Krishna Ravi, a talented young Bharatanatyam dancer of the Kalakshetra style. She has learned with the senior exponent Padma Shri Anand Shankar Jayant. Kripa has traveled extensively and performed in India and abroad, and is the recipient of the prestigious Guru Muthuswami Pillai Award by the Krishna Gana Sabha, amongst many other accolades. Accompanying the mother-daughter duo, we have very eminent musicians who have come down especially for this concert from Chennai. On the mridangam, we have Vidwan Shri Kannanji. Please put your hands together. On the violin, Shri Kalai Arasanji. And on the flute, we have young Sarthak Harure, who is currently residing in Auroville and is volunteering. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you to the two Vidwans to have come specially to make this program special for us. Friends, Suresh has already mentioned, kindly do switch off your mobile phones or at least keep them in the silent mode. We deeply appreciate your cooperation. As you all know, this is a 60-minute performance and there will be no break during the entire duration of the concert. Before I leave you, I'd like to share a wonderful quote. It is said that once sage Narad asked the Lord, "O Krishna, tell me, where do you truly reside?" And the Lord replied, "Naham vasami vaikunthe, yoginam hridayena cha, mad bhakta yatra gayanti, tatra tishtami Narada." O Narad, neither do I dwell in Vaikuntha, nor in the hearts of the yogis, but I dwell in delight where my devotees sing my name in the fervor of Bhakti. On that note, I leave you to revel in the experience of Sri Krishna Rasa Panchamrutam. Thank you.
Vanakkam, Namaste, good evening. We today present a new genre called Katha, Nritya, Geetham, a melange of stories, dance and music, and in a sense of true devotion, offer this at the lotus feet of the Mother and of the lotus feet of all of you who are sadhaks on the path of what the Mother had ordained and the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Krishna has a unique place in the life of Sri Aurobindo. When he was jailed at the Alipur prison, he writes, "I had an experience of Sri Krishna Kali." It was a very powerful vision, he says. And this experience completely changed the course of his life and probably led him to do so much more, contribute so much to humanity. And we're all indeed a part of something that was triggered by that powerful experience connected with Sri Krishna in the life of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Krishna also represents the complete expression, manifestation of the divine that we often refer to as the Purna Avatar. And it also represents the divine spark in the lotus seated within each one of us. Sri Krishna is symbolic of that. And when we have the highest aspiration to seek the divine, it is that spark that we are constantly invoking. This evening, we will soak ourselves in various songs, stories, and music depicting the life of Sri Krishna. He was divinity and bliss incarnate. He was the universal law of goodwill, the Lord of harmony, Lord of love. And we attempt to depict 5 stages of the life of Sri Krishna. Bala Krishna, Krishna as a little charming baby who could steal anyone's heart. Lala Krishna, the young Krishna who's full of pranks and yet, indeed, the undisputed Lord of love. Gopala Krishna, the cowherd, the young cowherd who's also with a lot of full of mischief and pranks. Dwarkadhish, the king of Dwarka, who was also a kingmaker. And finally, Yogeshwara Krishna, who was himself a coach, a mentor. We could even call him a master strategist, who really led the Pandavas to victory in the Mahabharata. So, these 5 hues of the divine blend together into the essence of the ambrosia nectar of Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna Rasa Panchamrutam. Kararavindena Padaravindam Mukharavinde Viniveshayantam Kararavindena Padaravindam Mukharavinde Viniveshayantam Vatasya Patrasya Pute Shayanam Balam Mukudo Manasa Smarami Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Jihve Pibasvam Amritam Etadeva Jihve Pibasvam Amritam Etadeva Amritam Etadeva Amritam Etadeva Govinda Damodara Madhaveti 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 Govinda Divinity pervades every point in space and time and manifests sometimes at the most improbable places. Nearly 5,000 years ago, it was almost this time of the year, the monsoon season. It was the really dark, terrible, dungeon-like prison in the city of Mathura, where Devaki and Vasudev were imprisoned. They were about to give birth to their 8th baby. the cruel and wicked king Kamsa, who had a prophecy that he would be killed by the child born to Devaki, had imprisoned them. And this time, whenever there's a devout person beseeching the divine from the bottom of their heart, the divine does manifest and come to their rescue. So as Devaki and Vasudev prayed to the Lord, they gave birth to a beautiful, beautiful baby, which was as dark as the clouds, Krishna. Suddenly, there was a magical spell all across the prison. This prison, which used to be under tight vigil and guarded day and night by guards who would be on the prowl, suddenly everything as if seemed to go into a deep slumber. Vasudev, as was pre-planned, places the baby on a basket, carries the basket on his head, and he magically finds that the shackles that hold him together suddenly give way. He tiptoes to the gates of the prison only to find the guards snoring away. The gates gradually open up quietly. It's pouring torrentially. He tiptoes to the banks of the Yamuna. The river, Yamuna ji too, and who would not be? Absolutely, she's eager, perhaps a little greedy, to touch the feet of this divine which has taken the form of this baby. So she swells, the river is in spate, and the waters touch the tiny feet of the Lord. And yet she magically creates way for Vasudeva to walk across the river without any hassle. He reaches the other end of the river and walks across to Gokul, into the household of Yashoda and Nanda. They're expecting a baby, and in this spell, the babies are exchanged. And when the couple realizes that they've given birth to this beautiful baby boy who's black in color and charming, the entire household, the entire Gokul, the community, they're all delighted. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Hathi ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Hathi ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Hathi ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Hathi ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Nand ghera nand bhayo jai kanhaiya lal ki. Hathi ghoda pal ki jai kanhaiya lal ki. Shri Bal Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. Yashoda is this doting mother who absolutely fusses over her little baby. And she's very happy distributing gifts and sweets to all that come to her house. One such day she hears someone at the door who calls out to her, Yashoda, I want to see your baby. She comes out. She's not amused. In fact, she's a little irritated. She sees this mendicant, a sadhu, who's got matted hair, and she tells him, Baba, don't you think this tender baby will be scared if he looks at you? Have you looked at yourself? You've got matted hair, ashes besmeared all over your body, you've got tiger skin around your loin. There's no way I can get my baby and show him to you. I can give you gifts, maybe some sweets. But the sadhu is adamant. There's no way. I'll stay back and look at the baby, he insists. Don't you know that even the mighty Shiva had to listen to Parvati ji and abide by what she said? There's no way you'll see the baby. And she walks right back into the house. And she sees the baby crying uncontrollably. She tries everything possible to pacify the baby, to calm him. But she's just not able to. And finally, she relents she takes the baby, calls the sadhu, "Here, you may have a look at him." The eyes of the sadhu meet the eyes of the baby. The baby stops crying. He has a little smile on his face. And now the sadhu gets a little bold, brazen. "I want to hold the baby," he says. Yashoda is absolutely infuriated. She's annoyed. "How dare you? You wanted to see the baby and now you want to hold him? There's no way." And she moves back with the baby. And again the baby is now kicking his hands and legs and screaming uncontrollably. Absolutely, after trying everything, she's at her wit's end and finally decides to let the sadhu touch the baby. He holds the baby. As he does that, it's as if the two eyes are locked in a divine embrace. It's as if two long-lost friends have met. The baby is now squealing in delight. He's gently kicking his hands and legs and looking into the eyes of this mendicant. Sri Krishna, Neela Krishna, Bala Krishna, Jai Jai Sri Krishna, Neela Krishna, Bala Krishna, Jai Jai Manohara Muralidhara Bala Krishna, Jai Jai Sri Krishna, Neela Krishna, Bala Krishna, Jai Jai Manohara Muralidhara Bala Krishna, Jai Jai Sri Krishna, Neela Krishna, Bala Krishna, Jai Jai. It is believed that the sadhu was none other than Lord Shiva himself. He had come down to take a look at his dear friend, Lord Vishnu. Their friendship really spanned across space and time. He couldn't hold himself back and wanted to see this beautiful form that divinity had taken, this little baby, and he was absolutely delighted. There was bliss and ecstasy all around. Balakrishna has now become Lal Krishna. He's a young boy, very charming. He loves to joke, play, wander, and roam in the forests of Vrindavan with all his friends. One such afternoon, he's gathered all his friends and they're having a picnic. So all his friends have got lovely things from home. Some of them have got lovely cow's milk, butter, yogurt, cottage cheese, a host of dishes. And while all that is spread out before Krishna, and each one is vying with the other to offer it to their dear beloved Lala Krishna, Krishna's eyes fall on his dear friend Madhumangal. "Hey Madhumangal, what have you brought for me?" he asks. Madhumangal is absolutely delighted. He is the son of Sandipani Rishi and Sumukhi Devi, a very devout couple who had actually taken a vow of austerity and a boon of austerity too, so that they could be focused on their pursuit of the divine. He runs home and tells his mother, "Ma, Krishna wants me to offer him something. What can I take for him?" His mother runs into the kitchen and looks all around and doesn't find anything there except a little dollop of yogurt in a small bowl. She happily gives it to her son and says, "Give this to your friend, he will love it." He runs back to offer it to his beloved Krishna. But just as he's near him, about to give it to him, a doubt crosses his mind. Will this simple, small quantity of yogurt really be worthy of my friend? He doesn't feel very comfortable and decides to consume it himself and tell Krishna that he's not brought anything for him. Just as he's emptying the bowl in his mouth, someone holds his hand. The little Lala is there. He can see everything, sense everything. And the dollop of yogurt which has fallen on the cheek of Madhumangal is actually taken, eaten and licked with great relish by Krishna. Krishna loves any offering that is made by his devotees with full devotion, with a pure heart and with true sincerity. After some more summers, Lal Krishna has now become a naughty, young cowherd, Gopal Krishna. He loves playing pranks. He loves all kinds of mischief. He's also trying to perfect the art of negotiation. He's a young boy. He in fact loves his cows and wants to go out to graze the cows on a hot summer afternoon. His mother doesn't think that is proper, given that it's very hot, very sunny. She holds him back and says, "No, please don't go." Krishna says, "No, I have to go. Do you know, I can give you a bit of milk and some sugar candy, also a handful of butter." She says, "I don't want any of that." "Hey Krishna, if you go to the banks of the Yamuna, don't you know that there are terrible thieves and robbers there?" He looks at his mother and says, "Ma, can there be a robber of a robber?" Now the mother is a little foxed. "Okay, if you go to Govardhana Giri, you'll have a lot of wild animals there. Do you know that the tigers and bears there, they can be really nasty. They can injure you. So don't go there." Krishna says, "They're all my friends. And if they come in a big group, I'll fight and win them over. I know how to win them over." And she finally says, "But if your dad comes, what shall I tell him? What if Nanda Baba comes home? What do I tell him?" "Just tell him that I've gone across the street to play with my friends. And as he walks back, I'll run and be right back, she says. So these are the kind of pranks that Krishna followed and practiced as a young cowherd. As we wait for the young Krishna, who's busy stealing some butter in the house of someone, we'll also tell you what is it that this Gopala Krishna did. He mesmerized and enticed everyone in Vrindavan, be it the cows, deer, peacocks, the grass, the forests, the trees, the gopis, just about everyone. Everyone was completely soaked in his bhakti, filled with his devotion, and they found there was something beautiful that was happening all around them. The gopis were very simple women, simple ladies of Vrindavan, who didn't have a very pointed ego. In that state of simplicity, they had given up their entire selves to the divine, had fully surrendered to the divine. They say, "Hey Krishna, your birth in Vrajabhumi, Vrindavan, has made this place absolutely get a golden shine. Don't you know that the goddess Lakshmi, she has come here because she wants to have your darshan every day. And that's why there's good fortune, there's a lot of prosperity all around Vrajabhumi." They also tell him that just listening to all that you've done, your mischief, your pranks, your stories, your fights, your jokes, all that is so very enriching for us. It gives us 3 benefits. We stop reacting to people through dead habit. The stimuli of anger, greed, they don't bother us anymore. We get uplifted spiritually, and we also get a lot of material benefits, good fortune. And they say that those that share your story are probably the most generous, because what they give us is the most priceless treasure that we can get. And now, let's see what Krishna, how is he arguing with his mother, and how is he building his muscles of negotiation? கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். காய்ச்சின பால் தரேன், கற்கண்டு சீனி தரேன், காய்ச்சின பால் தரேன், கற்கண்டு சீனி தரேன், கை நிறைய வெண்ணெய் தரேன், வெயிலிலே போக வேண்டாம் மாடு மேய் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். காய்ச்சின பால் வேண்டாம், கற்கண்டு சீனி வேண்டாம், காய்ச்சி காய்ச்சின பால் வேண்டாம், கல்கண்டு சீனி வேண்டாம், உல்லாசமாய் மாடு மேத்து ஒரு நொடியில் திரும்பிடுவேன், உல்லாசமாய் மாடு மேத்து ஒரு நொடியில் திரும்பிடுவேன். போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே, போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. யமுனா நதி கரையில் எப்போதுமே கள்வர் பயம், யமுனா நதி கரையில் எப்போதுமே கள்வர் பயம், யமுனா நதி கரையில் எப்போதுமே கள்வர் பயம், யமுனா நதி கரையில் எப்போதுமே கள்வர் பயம். கள்வர் வந்து உன்னை அடித்தால் கலங்கிடுவாய் கண்மணியே, கள்வர் வந்து உன்னை அடித்தால் கலங்கிடுவாய் கண்மணியே, கள்வர் வந்து உன்னை அடித்தால் கலங்கிடுவாய் கண்மணியே. மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். கள்வனுக்கோர் கள்வனுண்டோ கண்டதுண்டோ சொல்லும் அம்மா, கள்வனுக்கோர் கள்வனுண்டோ கண்டதுண்டோ சொல்லும் அம்மா. கள்வர் வந்து என்னை அடித்தால் கண்ட துண்டம் செய்திடுவேன், கள்வர் வந்து என்னை அடித்தால் கண்ட துண்டம் செய்திடுவேன். போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே, போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. கோவர்தனகிரியில் கோரமான மிருகங்கள் உண்டு, கோவர்தனகிரியில் கோரமான மிருகங்கள் உண்டு. கரடி புலியை கண்டால் கலங்கிடுவாய் கண்மணியே, கரடி புலியை கண்டால் கலங்கிடுவாய் கண்மணியே. மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். காட்டு மிருகங்கள் எல்லாம் என்னை கண்டால் ஓடி வரும், காட்டு மிருகங்கள் எல்லாம் என்னை கண்டால் ஓடி வரும். கூட்டங்கூட்டமாக வந்தால் வேட்டையாடி ஜெயிச்சிடுவேன், கூட்டங்கூட்டமாக வந்தால் வேட்டை ஆடி ஜெயிச்சிடுவேன். போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே, போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. பாசமுள்ள நந்த கோபால் பாலன் எங்கே என்று கேட்டால், 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 என்ன பதில் சொல்வேனடா என்னுடைய கண்மணியே, என்ன பதில் சொல்வேனடா என்னுடைய கண்மணியே. மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன், மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். பாலருடன் வீதியிலே பந்தாடுறான் என்று சொல்லு, 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 பாலருடன் வீதியிலே பந்தாடுறான் என்று சொல்லு. தேடியவர் வருகையிலே ஓடி வந்து நின்னுடுவேன். தேடியவர் வருகையிலே ஓடி வந்து நின்னுடுவேன். போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. மாடு மேய்க்கும் கண்ணே நீ போக வேண்டாம் சொன்னேன். 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 போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. போக வேண்டும் தாயே தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. தடை சொல்லாதே நீயே. Many years later, the young Gopala Krishna has now matured and become the king of Dwarka, Dwarkadhish. The very thought of Dwarka brings Mirabai, one of the foremost devotees of Krishna, to our mind. Mirabai, originally from Mewar in Rajasthan, was the queen, and even in present-day Chittorgarh, there is a temple and we see where is it that she lived. She was the queen there, but so intoxicated was she in her devotion to the Lord that people found that very unbecoming of a queen of those times. And she was insulted, traumatized, tortured, and driven out of there. But she was absolutely in a state of complete surrender to the Lord and traveled all the way, comes to Dwaraka. But after she leaves the kingdom sees a series of calamities, famine, drought, natural and man-made disasters. And the elders there realize their mistake, and a delegation comes to Dwarka to request Mirabai to return back to Rajasthan, present-day Rajasthan. She hears them and spontaneously sings a bhajan, beseeching the Lord to wipe out the suffering of people anywhere. And it is believed that this was the last composition, after which she walks into the sanctum sanctorum of the temple and merges into the lotus feet of Sri Krishna at Dwaraka.
Bood te gaj
Janki Bhi. Dwarkadhish Krishna was also a master negotiator and arbiter. He decides to try and mediate between the Pancha Pandavas, the 5 Pandavas who are on the path of dharma, righteousness and duty, and the 100-strong Kauravas who are their own first cousins but who are evil and wicked. He tries to have a round of negotiation, requesting for the leader of the Kauravas, Duryodhana, to at least give a small piece of land to the Pandavas. Duryodhana is absolutely arrogant and adamant. He refuses to part even with land at measuring the tip of a needle. And now the war becomes inevitable. The Mahabharata war ensues. After these negotiations, since Krishna was the neutral arbiter, Duryodhana invites him to the palace at Hastinapur for a very special, elaborate, multi-course lunch with gold and silver plates and cutlery and all pomp and all the special arrangements. Krishna politely declines and instead prefers to go to the humble abode of Vidura and his wife Vidurani, also known as Sulabha. He goes uninvited there. He knocks at the door. Vidurani is having a bath, but she can sense that the Lord himself has come to her doorstep. She's a very devout lady. Almost with no clothes on, she rushes. She invites Krishna to sit and offers him the fruits at home, which is basically bananas. As this is happening, and Krishna happily accepts this with great delight and relish, Vidura returns home and he's absolutely amazed to see this spectacle of devotion. He finds that Krishna is seated on an upturned chair and eating the peel of the banana being offered to him with great devotion, as Vidurani throws away the pulp of the banana fruit. He doesn't want to disturb this, but his intellect can't hold this any longer, and he now invites Krishna to sit on an upright chair and now offers him the banana fruit and throws away the peel. Krishna humors him but wryly remarks that the banana peel that was offered to him with full devotion, without the distortion of the intellect as he sat on an upturned chair, was far more tasty. So, again we see this enduring quality of devotion is what keeps the divine happy. If there is an offering made with a true, sincere feeling, offered with full devotion and faith, it is accepted with great joy by the divine. And now, the battle is inevitable. And as we ready for the battle, let's experience the true feeling of devotion that Vidurani experienced with a famous Gujarati bhajan. Those of you who know it may also want to sing along. It's a very popular, simple bhajan on Srinathji. मारा घट मा बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी हे मारा घट मा बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी मारो मरडो छे गोकुल वने रावण मारा तरना आंगणिया तुलसी नावन मारा प्राण जीवन हे मारा घट मा विराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी आत्मना आंगणे श्री महाकृष्ण जी मारी आँखों दिसे गिरधारी हृदय मारू तन मन आयो जेने वारे रे वारी मारा श्याम मुरारी हे मारा घट मा विराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी हूँ तो नित्य विठ्ठल वरनी सेवा रे करूं हूँ तो नित्य विठ्ठल वरनी सेवा रे करूं हूँ तो आठे समा केरी झांकी रे करूं हूँ तो आठे समा केरी झांकी रे करूं मैं तो चितड़ो श्रीनाथ जी ने चरणी धर्यो जीवन सफल कर्યું हे मारा घट मा विराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी आवो जीवन मा लावो फरी कदी ना मळे वारे वारे मानव देहा कदी ना मळे फेरो लाख रे 84 मारो रे पड़े मने मोहन मळे हे मारा घट मा विराजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी मारा मन राजता श्रीनाथ जी जमुना जी महाप्रभु जी श्रीनाथ जी बोलो श्री जमुना जी बोलो 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 गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो श्रीनाथ जी बोलो यमुना जी बोलो श्रीनाथ जी बोलो यमुना जी बोलो श्रीनाथ जी बोलो श्री जमुना जी बोलो श्रीनाथ जी बोलो श्री जमुना जी बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोविंद बोलो हरि गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो Mahabharata, the great battle begins. Arjun now is all prepared to fight the war and sees his uncles, cousins, grandfathers, brothers, and even teachers lined up on the side of the enemy. He's bitterly disillusioned, frustrated, depressed, and just does not want to fight this battle. That is when his charioteer and coach, his mentor, Parthasarathi, Krishna, reaches out and explains the need for Arjun to perform his duty, his dharma of a Kshatriya, and go ahead and fight the battle, since that is his duty, and to protect the good from the evil. This priceless conversation of questions and answers is an invaluable treasure that has been handed down to us as the song Celestial or the Bhagavad Gita. This is a great prasada, as relevant, as appropriate, even in today's life, whether it is in small relationships between two human beings, in homes, in communities, in political setups, corporate boardrooms, globally, and so on. So this is as relevant today as it was 5,000 years ago. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami yogastha kuru karmani yoga karma sukhaushalam. Yogeshwara Krishna explains to Arjuna, just as the calm, balmy ocean remains completely equipoised, unperturbed, even as a large number of rivers in full spate, in flood, swollen, flow into it, so it is with us. If one is a true yogi, which is what we are all striving to be, all these desires of anger, hatred, extreme possession, jealousy, all of these rivers that flow into us should not make the ocean get perturbed or lose its equipoise. And he also says that we need to perform our duty completely anchored in yoga, and that when any offering, when any service, work is performed anchored in yoga, that's the absolute epitome of performing, of quality. That's the best performance that can be had. Through a series of persuasive arguments, logical reasons, philosophy, and inspiration, by teaching, example, inspiration, lecture, Krishna reaches out to Arjuna's intellect, heart, soul, and finally shows him his Vishwarupa Darshanam, the universal form. The form which completely fills all of space and time. There's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. It's full of innumerable heads, mouths, stomachs, hands, legs, eyes. And looking at all of this, which is full of ornaments which are of a heavenly quality, various embellishments, Arjuna is absolutely awestruck. But soon a fear grips him. He has horripilations. He's even scared, frightened, sees the past, present and future. Anekavahu udaravaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato anantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadyam pashyami vishveshwara vishvarupam pashyami vishveshwara vishvarupam pashyami vishveshwara vishvarupam. Arjuna is first wonderstruck, and finally, when he realizes that he follows the call of his duty, when he sees all of this, and he sees that following the sage advice of his mentor and coach makes him win the battle. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmate Mamaha Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijaya ma ma ri sa ri ma pa ri ri pa sa ni pa ri sa yatra yogeshwara Krishna yatra patho dhanurdhara. Yatra yogeshwara Krishna yatra partho dhanurdhara tatra Shri Vijayo bhuter tatra Shri Vijayo bhuter tatra Shri Vijayo bhuter dhruvani termate mama. This is not a mere historical story that happened 5,000 years ago. It is something that has survived the ravages of time and space and has come down to us. It's a sterling example of what this means to each one of us. Sri Krishna symbolizes the divine spark seated in the lotus within. And Dhanurdhara, Arjuna, represents each one of us when we have the armory of devotion, faith, and truth coupled with sincerity. If we look within and reach out and seek the highest aspiration at every twist and turn in our life, at every point in time, at every moment, we will be given the right guidance and it would lead to complete, sustainable, and real, truthful victory. as we sense and feel the presence of the divine Sri Krishna, let's experience the sweetness of Sri Krishna all around us, within us. Let us open ourselves to taste and experience the compassion and grace of the divine and relish that sweetness all around. Let us look at everything around us now and here, including those seated beside us in this dark auditorium, and enjoy the sweetness of Krishna, the divine, shining all around. This inspired Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya ji to compose Madhurashtakam, the Ashtakam dedicated to sweetness of the divine. And as we look back at Sri Krishna as Balakrishna, Lal Krishna, Gopala Krishna, Dwarkadhish Krishna, and Yogeshwara Krishna, we are struck by the Madhuram, the sweetness in each one of them. Let's capture the essence of the Madhura Rasa, the essence of that sweetness, as we drink in the Sri Krishna Rasa Panchamrutam. Adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamanam madhuram madhuradhipate akhilam madhuram adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamadam madhuram madhuradhipate madhuram vachanam madhuram charitam madhuram vasanam madhuram valitam madhuram vachanam madhuram charitam madhuram vasanam madhuram valitam madhuram chalitam madhuram brahmitam madhuram madhuradhipate rakhilam madhuram venur madhuro renur madhurah pani madhurah pado madhuro venur madhuro renur madhurah pani madhurah pado madhuro nrityam madhuro sakyo madhuro madhuradhipate rakhilam madhuram geetham madhuram pitam madhuram bhuktam madhuram suptam madhuram geetham madhuram pitam madhuram bhuktam madhuram suptam madhuram rupam madhuram tilakam madhuram madhuradhipate rakhilam madhuram karanam madhuram taranam madhuram haranam madhuram smaranam madhuram karanam madhuram taranam madhuram haranam madhuram smaranam madhuram vamitam madhuram shamitam madhuram मधुरं गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा बीजे मधुरा गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा बीजे मधुरा सलिलं मधुरो कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टो मधुरो शिष्टो मधुरो मधुराधिपतेरखिलो मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरो मधुराधिपतेरखिलो मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षं मङ्गलाय तनोहरि श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
Please put your hands together for what a beautiful experience of Sri Krishna Rasa Panchamrutam that we had this evening. Dr. Jayanti Ravi on vocals and narration. Kripa Ravi, Bharatanatyam. We had the special appearance of Adit Ravi, Jayanti ji's son, on the flute. And maybe have him on stage, please. Adit Ravi. Sarthak Harure on the flute. Sri Kannanji on the mridangam. Kalai Arasanji on the violin. Thank you all so very much for this beautiful experience of taking us to the Brij Bhumi and enlightening us all with the fervor of Krishna Bhakti. Thank you so much. Friends, a couple of thank yous, and please a huge shout out to our wonderful tech support team. For sound, Sai Suresh. For lights, Ashwin. For this beautiful stage decoration, the beautiful young Silky, thank you so much. And last but not the least, Geetha and I are most grateful to Joy and the entire team at Bharat Nivas for having so graciously offered us the Aurobindo Auditorium to stage this evening's performance. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. It's such a pleasure to be back among performing spaces and hope to have many more of these. Have a wonderful evening and do take care of yourselves. Thank you.